I'm good. How are you?
Doing very well. It's so great to see you. You look beautiful.
Good. Oh, thank you. It's great to see you too.
Yes. So first of all, how's the baby?
Which one?
Child, both.
Well,
All the babies.
my daughter, she's doing really well. She's 3
Okay.
now. She's on
Oh,
spring break. Yeah, so I'm definitely in mommy mode. And then the one on the way is growing and healthy, and it's beautiful to feel him. It's a he, feel him
oh,
moving around in there. Yeah.
oh wow. Oh my God. Well,
Yeah.
listen, I'm so grateful that, especially with you carrying, that you are taking the time to talk to us because, you know, obviously being pregnant and then doing these press days are not easy. So I'm grateful for the time.
Oh,
I know, wrapping up such what's become an iconic show is not easy because it's got to be an emotional thing. And listen, these last two episodes, the acting that you did, the
oh,
acting that you did crazy, like
wow.
actually bananas.
Wow. Thank
So
you.
I want to commend you on that. So my name is James, and I run a digital publication. It's called Baldwin, named for James Baldwin, my favorite writer.
Okay.
We have a small staff of about 20 writers and editors, and we host a weekly podcast. It's called Baldwin Talks. And child, the fights I get in when we talk about Louie, because I'm Team Louie. I'm
Yes,
Team Louie.
thank you.
And that's why when this interview came up, I said, oh no. Like, look, like, listen, the person that was originally supposed to do it, she has two kids, two daughters, two gorgeous daughters,
Yeah.
Bianca Gregg. And she couldn't make it. She was like, no, James, you have to do this interview because the fight you get in behind Louis. And I said, that's right, period. I say,
Period.
yes, I will do this interview because let me tell you, I just see things a different way. And I really feel like throughout the series, Louis, like people don't seem to understand what it is. So I know time is limited, but I just want to jump in with this with my first question. And it has to do with something that Louis, one of the last things that Louis said to Jerome that to me made a lot of sense. And so
Yeah.
let me ask you this.
Mhm.
So when Jerome was talking to Louis about possibly getting out and how he felt, Louis expressed how hard it was being in charge, but never being acknowledged as being the one who, as a woman and really as a Black woman, what that meant, being ignored and being kind of, just passed by. It
Yeah.
reminded me of the real life story of Stephanie St. Clair,
Mm.
who in New York was one of the most iconic and biggest number runners ever. She was, of
Mhm.
course, succeeded by Bumpy Johnson, who, we also know is from Hoodlum, the iconic movie, and now Godfather of Harlem. Stephanie St. Clair's story ended prematurely because she was kind of pushed out. She was feared and revered in the streets of Harlem, but then she was kind of just pushed out when it came to who the baton would be passed to. And I
Right.
think that even though Louis wasn't alluding to Stephanie St. Clair, I could see that correlation in terms of Black women leaders and
Yeah.
not just even the drug game, but just even in leadership, period, kind of
Yeah.
being pushed out. And I feel
Yeah.
like when we are hard on Louis, we sometimes ignore that fact. So could you speak to a little bit of that and maybe touch on the fact that, or the possibility that maybe the reason why it's hard for some people to take Louie is because perhaps she is a Black woman
Yeah,
and not a Black man.
yeah. Oh yeah, all of that. It's been really hard to listen to people, in particular other Black women, not be able to see Louie's struggle. I'm like, but what she's experiencing, we experience in all capacities of our lives. Like that is, it is essentially the essence of the fight of our lives, you know, the constant fight in every, from be it in motherhood, in birth, in corporate America, in artistic leadership roles, whatever. When we try to lead, there's always somebody trying to mansplain, trying to white-splain, trying to, you know, tell us how to do our jobs, how to, you know, calling us, you know, angry when we're just expressing what the needs of the moment, you know what I mean? And so I think that's what Louie was trying to say is like, listen, we are all, you and I both know that in terms of our business, I got us here. I'm the leader of this business. And yet when we're in the midst of doing business, they're not looking at me. They don't acknowledge that I am the leader here, that I am the brains. Jerome was the muscle. And there's nothing wrong with that, but that when they're only talking to him, when there's no eye contact being made, when the thing is going down, they can't see her. And I feel like that's being mirrored online, you know, on social media, you know, when it's all about Louie is, you know, merely, she's greedy, she got ahead of herself, let the men do the business. The queen, this is a direct quote, the queen needs to learn to sit down and let the men do the business. What are we talking about here? It's really, it's disappointing. And I feel like, you know, I don't mind that Louie is a villain. I don't mind that people, you know, hate her or whatever. But it does kind of bug me out a little bit, the kind of rationale of the unlogic is what I call it. And the fact that they can't, a lot of people, you know, say things like, she's a woman and so that's how it got messed up. And, you know, it's so many things. I'm just like, wow, this is really, you know, it's really a double standard. And it's in 2023, you know, and the fact that even a lot of women are still brainwashed, really.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So our sports editor, Will Lyons, shout outs to him, brilliantly said that Snowfall is going to be one of those shows that eventually, years later, is going to be taught in colleges, if not
Mm,
already, because of what the creator, may he rest in peace,
mhm.
what his intentions were,
Yeah.
for, you know, showing and wanting to create a show that kind of told the true story from a Black perspective of what really happened in terms of how things, how drugs got here, and
Yeah.
how an epidemic and turned into a pandemic.
Right.
Um, Now, leaving that be for a minute and then following what we've been saying for the past few minutes about Black women and their stories in relation to that, do you think that he always intentioned to show that Black women were a force in this through the character of Louie?
That's interesting. I think what his intention was to show a Black family in this particular situation. And his intention was to show the multifaceted dynamics of Black women, you know, different kinds of Black women, and some of the things that we are fighting for within the nucleus of our family versus the outward struggles, powers, situations. And I think as we got further into the storytelling, each woman evolved, and their stories were kind of delved more into. And I think that because especially for Louie, like I am not privy to the other actors' conversations with the writers and the producers and stuff, but I know with Louie, I don't think it was intended for her to be the character that she is today, the queen pin, the burgeoning queen pin that she turned into. I think that happened over time, but it was always intended that she be smart, that she be kind of neck and neck with Franklin in terms of her ability to strategize, her ability to kind of help him as he navigated the world. And then I think over time, as she was helping him and exploring and experiencing more of herself, her story began to kind of flower more and more.
Absolutely. I think Louis' superpower is underestimation. I think throughout each season, people kept underestimating her. And I think that people underestimated Wanda. I think people underestimated Sissy for sure.
Yes.
Some of her monologues are bananas.
Yes.
And like I mean, like some of her monologues are bananas. I'm like, is
Yes.
this Angela Davis? Is this Afeni Shakur? I'm
Right.
getting nervous. I don't
Yeah.
know, child, who's talking through the screen. Whereas people never underestimated Franklin, whereas people never even underestimated Jerome. I want to know from you if if and I know you can't give anything away. We have two episodes to go. What is the resolve for Louis' character in terms of being fully realized? You don't have to tell us how it ends. I don't even want you to. But I
Yeah.
just mean what is a proper, like, what can you see in terms of a full circle moment for the character of Louis in terms of getting what that character deserves?
Yeah, I think that we are always aiming to be true to life, as close to, life as we can, as close to bringing these characters' humanity fully to the surface as we can. And so in that vein, I feel like Louis' search for autonomy, her quest to be fully realized, to be her fight for it to be okay for her to exist fully in herself, fully in her power, is never going to go away. You know what I mean? The minute you stop dreaming, the minute you stop learning, that's it for you. And so I think Louie is going to be after that for as long as she is breathing.
Okay. Well, I'm rooting for Louis, honey, because
Thank
like I said,
you.
like I said, I will keep fighting for Louis.
Thank
I don't
you.
care. You got one for me. And
Thank
that
you.
is what it is. And that's on period. Now, last question, because I know you have to go. We want to know what's going on with Angela, the actress. I know, honey, I know you carrying now, okay? So I know you're going to need
Yes.
some time. Listen, baby, I know you're going to need some time, okay? I know you're going to need
Yes.
some time. I know you're going to need some time, mama. But after you
Yeah.
get it together and after you take care of them being Beanos, all right? what's next? Can we get a movie, a commercial, child, something like anything? Like I know it's been rough, but like listen, we want to still see you. Like,
That's
can we
right.
get a commercial, a milk commercial, something? Like anything? A music video? You still got it, girl. A music video,
Yes,
anything? Tell us you
yes,
got something down the pipeline. Like, I don't know, like anything.
yes. Well, it's what has been really beautiful, I think, about my journey. One of the things about my journey with Snowfall is that it has allowed me to really expand in so many capacities, right?
Yes.
So I'm doing some writing now. So, I'm working on a script, and that is very exciting and, scary. But
Yeah.
I think it is allowing me to remember myself as a creator, not just the piece that you plug in at the end and, get out there, which I love. Acting is like my first passion, but there are other ways that I'm wanting to express myself. And so that's one of the ways. I have a production company now, Blue Remedy Media. Yes,
Yes.
my husband and I and some producing partners. And so we have a whole slate of projects that we're shopping around from, narrative to unscripted, in the documentary space and, just all over animated features. So we have a lot of things that we're doing and I'm really excited about. I have a nonprofit called Birth Village, and that's in the Black maternal health space. And yeah, really wanting to turn the tide and eradicate the Black maternal health crisis. So look out
Yes.
for work in that capacity. And then as an actor, my slate is currently clear because I wanted to allow for whatever is manifesting with this new baby to be able to, kind of freely move. And I am fortunate and grateful for the belief that I have that I am fully supported, as I have always
Yes.
been, and that's never going to change. And so whatever is coming down the pipeline for me in terms of acting, well, in terms of anything really, but particularly in terms of acting, will be. And so I don't need to worry, oh no, I got to stop and have a baby, and what's that going to do to my momentum and all of that. No, boo boo, it's here. I'm here. You know what I'm saying? So I am excited about what is to come. The baby is due at the end of July. I'm excited
Yes.
for, yes, I'm excited for
Yes.
to meet this new being and to fully immerse him in so much love and joy. And then maybe in the fall, to get back out there in the, acting space and to, immerse myself in what's coming there. So it's just a lot of exciting unknown. I'm really, really excited.
I know that's right. And you probably got a good man with a good job, girl. I know that's right. You better go ahead, child. You don't even look like you waiting to exhale. I know that's right.
No,
Yes.
I think I have to, you got to be inhaling and exhaling as you go. There's no
You
time
better
to
do
stop
them
and wait.
Lamaze breaths. You better work them
That's
Lamaze
right.
breaths. Child, I know that's right. Well, the pleasure was all mine. I'm so grateful.
Oh,
This was so much fun. And like I said, I'm Team Louie, but I'm also Team Angela. And I just wish you the best with this pregnancy. I love it. And just thank you so much. It was just a pleasure. I wish you
yeah,
all the best and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much.
you're
Truly.
welcome. Thank you.
Have a
You
good
have a good
one. Bye
day.
bye.